Good afternoon, children. So, in the last class, you have seen about how the town was developed, how there was a water system, drainage system, how the roads were there, and all. Now, let us move to the next topic, the story of Bargaza, Greek name for Baruch. So let us see, the gulf is very narrow at Bargaza and very hard to navigate for those coming from the sea. So this road is not good. The gulf is very narrow and the people who are coming from sea, for them to move in the sea, it is going to become difficult. Wow, for whom? The ships, for the navigation and all, it is going to become very difficult. Ships have to be steered in by skillful and experienced local fishermen who were employed by the king. So these people who are experts, who are the specialists and who are experienced local fishermen are only who are employed by the king are only taking those ships, running those ships. The imports into Bargaza were wine, copper, tin, lead, coral, topaz, cloth, gold and silver coins. So what they were importing from the other countries? Wine, copper, tin, lead, coral, topaz, cloth, gold and silver coins. Exports from the town included plants from the Himalayas, ivory, agate, carnelian, cotton, silk and perfumes. So these were the exports, right, which they were exporting from the town to the other parts of the country. So other parts of the countries. So exports included plants from where? Himalayas, ivory, agate, carnelian, cotton, silk and perfumes. Special gifts were bought by merchants for the king. So they were giving the special gifts for whom? For the king. These included the vessels of silver, singing boys, beautiful women, fine wines and fine cloth. So these were all the gifts given to the king. So these were the things done, right. They were giving the special gifts to whom? By the merchants. Special gifts was purchased by whom? By the merchants for the king. These included what? Vessels of the silver, singing boys, beautiful women, fine wines and fine clothes were given. Next one is punch marked coins. Punch marked coins were generally rectangular or sometimes square or round in shape, either cut out of the metal sheets or made of the flattened metal globules, a small spherical body. So this is how it is, a circular shape, round in shape, right, and they are rectangular. Sometimes they are rectangular. The coins were not inscribed, so there were no inscriptions was not there, but what they were there were nothing, writings on the coin was not there, but what they had done, but were stamped with the symbols using the dice or punches. But what happened? They were stamped, right. These were put, stamped means sikka, they had put on the seal, right, on the coins. So they were using the dice or the punches in order to color these coins. Hence they are called punch marked coins. So the punching is done on them, so they are called as the punch marked coins. These coins are found over most parts of the subcontinent and remained in the circulation till early centuries, right. So they were in circulation in the early centuries. Coins, you may have noticed how wealth is measured in terms of coins in the story on page number 82. The archaeologists have found several thousands of coins belonging to this period. The earliest coins which were in use for about 500 years were punch marked coins, such as one shown below. So the thousands of coins were available in those days, but they were about 500 years ago. We have seen such a punch marked coins and they were in the thousand in numbers. Thousands of coins were there. other means of exchange, right? As they carry the white paddy of their land to exchange it for the salt of the another. They are carrying here white paddy, means the rice, in exchange with the salt, crossing the long roads in carts. So they are crossing the long routes of the carts, through sands white as moonlight. Through sands also they are moving in the moonlight, taking whole families who hate to be left behind. The departure of the salt merchants leaves the city empty. So here they are carrying what? They are carrying their family in order to sell the salt to whom? To the paddy, in exchange of the paddy. The farmers who have grown the rice, who had done the production of rice, were giving them the rice in exchange of the salt from the merchants. Next we will see cities with many functions. Very often a single town was important for variety of reasons. Let us look at the example of Mathura. Mathura has been an important settlement for more than 2500 years. So in Mathura there were a lot of people living, right? It is also the Krishna Janma Bhoomi, that is the Mathura. You all know the place of Mathura. It was built Mathura was there 2500 years ago. It was important because it was located at the crossroads of two major routes of travel and trade. So here you can see there were the crossroads of two major routes. One is for travel and another one was for the trade. Trade means buying and selling of the goods and services. Right, from the northwest to the east and from north to south. So the trade routes were how? From the northwest to the east and from north to south. Around 2000 years ago, Mathura became the second capital of the Kushanas, about whom you will be reading in chapter 9. Mathura was also a religious center. So how was the Mathura? Mathura was also the religious center. Right, around 2000 years ago, Mathura, it was important because it was located at the crossroads of two major routes of travel and trade, from the northwest to the east and from north to south. So these were the two trade routes. The people can see here, they were traveling for, and another one was for the traveling to move from one city to another city, and another one was for trade, in order to purchase, buying and selling of goods and services. They were moving from the northwest to the east and from north to south. There were fortifications around the city and several shrines. So what were they? There were lot of what we can say fortifications around the city. Kotegalidiri, fortifications around the city, and several shrines were there. Farmers and herders from adjoining areas provided food for people in the city. So farmers and herders who were living in the city, adjoining areas nearby the city, they were providing the food for the people in the city. Mathura was also a center where some extremely fine sculpture was produced. Fine sculpture means the art and the architecture you are seeing, that was produced in the Mathura. Around 2000 years ago, Mathura became the second capital of the Kushanas. So 2000 years ago, it had become the second capital of whom? Of the Kushanas, about whom you will be reading in the chapter 9. Let us see. Mathura was also a religious center. There were Buddhist monasteries, Jain shrines, and it was an important center for the worship of the Krishna. So here all types of saints were living, especially the Buddhist monasteries, Jain shrines, Jain Santagala, Buddha, right? Jain Tirthankaras, what we are calling them. they were living. And also it was an important city for whom? For the worship of Krishna. I told you it is his birthplace, and you have all seen, you have seen the, you know, the story of Krishna, right? So it was an important center for the worship of the Lord Krishna. Several inscriptions on surfaces such as stone slabs, statues have been found in Mathura. So what were there? There were stone slabs and statues have been found in the Mathura. Stone slabs andre big stones ರೀ, as well as statues of the gods have been found in the Mathura. Generally these are the short inscriptions recording gifts made by men. So on the stone slabs what were written? Which king has brought what type of gift, what is the cost of the gift, that all it is written on those short inscriptions on the stone slabs. Stone slabs andre hinga kall irtati, mundin sapat irtati, there are writing it in on the things, which king what has he brought, what gift he had is given to the kings, right? And sometimes gifts made by men and sometimes women to the monasteries and shrines. Monasteries means the kings and queens, and shrines means santru, what you can say, tirthankaras, like that, the big, what you can say, religious leaders. For them what they had given the gifts. These were made by kings and queens, officers, merchants and crafts persons who lived in the city. So monasteries means dharma kshetra, dharma chhatragalu, like that they are doing, no, like that in the temples they are having the monasteries and shrines. For them they are giving the gifts. Gifts were given by whom? By the kings, queens, officers, merchants and craft persons, all the rich persons in the society or in that city, right? It includes ಧರ್ಮಾಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು, ಅವ್ರ ಜಾತಿದ ಧರ್ಮಾಧಿಕಾರಿ ಇರ್ತಾರ, ರಿಲಿಜಿಯಸ್ ಗುರು ಇರ್ತಾರ. ಫಾರ್ ದೆಮ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಗಿಫ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಫಾರ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟನ್ಸ್, the inscriptions from Mathura mention goldsmiths, blacksmiths, weavers, basket makers, garland makers, perfumes. So inscriptions here they tell that in the Mathura kingdom, in Mathura city, in those days they had given the gifts of the, which were done by whom? By the goldsmiths, blacksmiths, weavers, basket makers, garland makers and perfumes, right? Crafts and craft persons. We also have archaeological evidence for crafts. These include extremely fine pottery known as the northern black polished ware. So it is NBPW. So it is archaeological evidence for what? For the crafts which are made extremely from fine pottery known as the northern black polished ware. So NBPW. It gets its name from the fact that is generally found in the northern part of the subcontinent. Here we are getting this name from where? From the northern part of the subcontinent. Remember that the archaeological evidence for many crafts may not have survived. Here you have to remember that the archaeological evidence for many of the crafts have not survived. We know from the text that the manufacture of cloth was important. So what we know, there are a lot of archaeological evidences for many crafts, right? For many things which have happened, but we are not getting, they have not survived, right? They have been lost. We know from the text that the manufacture of cloth was important. So what was important in those days from the text, whatever the inscriptions we have got, whatever the evidences we have got, whatever the proofs we have got, from that we come to know that what was important in those days, manufacturing of cloth was important. There were famous centers such as Varanasi in the north and Madurai in the south. So there were famous centers for manufacturing of the cloth such as Varanasi in the north and Madurai in the south. Both men and women worked in these centers. So who were working in these centers? Both men and women were working in these centers. Many crafts persons and merchants now formed association known as the Shrenis. Now many craft persons and merchants, now they have formed the associations, they are known as the Shrenis. These Shrenis of crafts persons provided training, procured raw material and distributed the finished product. So these Shrainis, what was their duty or what was their task or what was their work in those days was, these were of these trainees were craft persons. They were provided training for what? For procuring the raw material and distributing the finished products. Right, they had given training in procuring the raw materials and also in distributing the raw materials. Right, and finished and distributed what? The finished products. After the production, what? After the raw material is kept into the what you can say processing, we get the finished products. Then Shrainis of merchants organized the trade. So then the Shrainis of merchants, what they did, they had organized it for the trade. Shrainis also served as banks where rich men and women deposited money. So Shrainis also used to serve them as the banks where the rich men and women deposited what? Money. This was invested and part of the interest was returned or used to support the religious institutions such as the monasteries. So here the rich men and women who had deposited their money in the banks, this was invested and they were getting the part of the interest was returned to them or used to support what? Religious institutions such as the monasteries. Here they were keeping the money in the bank and for that they were getting the rate of interest, or sometimes they were using this money to invest themselves to support what? Religious institutions such as the monasteries, ashramaಗಳು. Right. Rule for spinning and weaving. These rules are from Arthashastra mentioned in chapter 7. They describe how spinning and weaving could be done in workshops under the supervision of a special official. So it tells us in the Arthashastra that how we can go for the spinning and weaving of the clothes. So how it can be done in the workshops under the supervision of a special official, means the person who is very much perfect in the art of spinning and weaving, under his supervision they are going to teach the people how to do the spinning and weaving, manufacturing of the cloths. Widows, young women who are differently abide, nuns, mothers of courtesans, retired women servants of the king, women who have retired from service in temples may be used for processing wool, bark, cotton, hemp and flax. So here they were using the women especially in manufacturing what? Wool, bark, cotton, hemp and flax. So those widows were they used, young women were used, and also differently abled, means they were not, who were handicaps, they were using them also, nuns, right, mothers of the courtesans, as well as retired servants of the king, women who have retired from the service in temples, all of them they were using in manufacturing of these goods and services. They should be paid according to the quality and quantity of work. Here they were paid for the work they were doing in the spinning and weaving, right. The women were not permitted to leave their homes and send maid servants to bring the raw material from the superintendent and take the finished work back to him. So here women were not permitted to leave their homes. They were not allowed to leave their homes and can send maid servants to bring the raw material. They were not allowing the maid servants to bring the raw materials from the superintendent and take them finished work back to him. So it was not done like that. Women who can visit the workshop should go at dawn to give their work and receive their wages. So they have to go to that workshop. Women who were doing this work, they have to go to that workshop, they have to visit that workshop, and they have to after doing the work they were receiving the wages. There should be enough light to be to examine the work. It in case the superintendent look at the woman and talks about anything other than work, he should be punished. So here there was enough light and to examine the work. In case the superintendent looks at the woman or talks anything other than the work, he should be punished. Here he was given punishment if he is talking other than or if he is doing other than the work. If a woman does not complete her work, she will have to pay a fine and her thumbs can be cut off. See here, if a woman will not complete her work, what will happen? She will have to pay the fine to the king as well as her thumbs will be cut off. Thumb andre ಹೆಬ್ಬಳನ್ನ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಗಿತಾರೆ. So such what happened? Harsh punishments were given. A closer look find Arikamedu in Puducherry on map 7 page 105 and read the box on Rome on page 88. Between 2200 and 1900 years ago, Arikamedu was a coastal settlement where ships unloaded goods from the distant lands. So what happened? Arikamedu was a coastal settlement. It was a coastal area. What happened? Where ships were brought and they unloaded the goods from the distant lands. A massive brick structure which may have been a warehouse was found at the site. So what was there? A massive brick structure was there which may have been a warehouse was found at the site. So a massive brick structure was there. What it was in the olden days? It was a warehouse and it was found at that site. Other finds includes pottery from the Mediterranean region such as an amphora, tall double-handled jars that contained liquids such as wine or oil. So other finds include what? They were pottery also from the Mediterranean region. They were found from the Mediterranean region. Pottery ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹೂಜಿಗಳಿದ್ದು right? Such as amphora, tall double-handled jars, right? Like this double-handled big hoojigalu doddu jars iddu, right? That contain the liquids that were containing what? Liquids such as wine or oil and stamped red glazed pottery known as the Aretine ware. So these jars were double-handled that contain the liquids such as wine or oil and stamped what? Red glazed pottery. So how it was the stamped red glazed pottery known as the Aretine ware. So what they were called? Aretine ware. They were called as the Aretine ware, which was named after a city in Italy. So these works, these pottery works, they were called as the Aretine ware and which was named after the city called the Italy. This was made by pressing wet clay into stamped mold. So how it was done? This was done how? By stepping or by pressing the wet clay into a stamped mold. There was yet another kind of pottery which was made locally through Roman designs were used. Roman lamps, glassware and gems have also been found at the site. So here there was another kind of pottery which was made locally through the Roman designs were used. They were using the Roman designs. Roman lamps, glassware and gems have also been found at the site. So what are found in that area? Lamps, Roman lamps have been found, glasswares have been found and gems andre muttu ratnagalu like that have been found at that site. Next one is small tanks have been found that were probably dyeing vats used to dye cloth. There is plenty of evidence for the making of beads from semi-precious stones and glass. So small tanks have been found. Small tanks were found that were probably used for what? For dyeing the vats or dyeing the cloth. There is plenty of evidence for making the beads from semi-precious stones and glass. So there is plenty of evidences For what they had making, they were making the beads, right? From what? Some semi precious stones, and as well as from the glass they were making the beads. Beads ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೌಂಡ್ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ರೌಂಡ್ ಶೇಪ್ಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ಮುತ್ತು ರತ್ನ ಟೈಪ್ ರೌಂಡ್ ಶೇಪ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆರಿಕಲ್ ಶೇಪ್ಡ್ ಇರ್ತೈತಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪುಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ rings and all that beads, right? They were making. Elsewhere, find Rome on map 6. This is one of the oldest cities in Europe and developed around the same time as the cities in the Ganga Valley. Rome was the capital of one of the largest empires. So here you can see this is one of the oldest cities in the Europe. You can see here this picture is given, right? And developed around the same time as the cities in the Ganga Valley. So as in the same time they were of all the contemporary here. This Mathura and this city which was developed in the Ganga Valley, all the city were which had been developed in the Rome, they were all the same contemporary cities were developed. Rome was the capital of the largest empire. So Rome, it is which is in Italy, it is the capital of the largest empires. One that spread across Europe, North Africa and West Asia. Augustus, one of the most important emperors who ruled about 2000 years ago, said that he found Rome a city of brick and made it into a city of marble. So here the Augustus, he is telling that who is the emperor, who is the king of the Rome, he tells that 2000 years ago the Rome was built only with the bricks, but now he had made the city to be built with the marble stones. You know, they are so much costly it is compared to the bricks. Marble is costly, so he had made the city made up with the marbles. He and later rulers built temples and palaces. So he and after that so many the later rulers, the later kings, what they had done, they had built the temples and as well as the palaces. They also built huge amphitheaters. So what they had built open huge amphitheaters, means open areas surrounded by tires of seeds, means open area. Now how you see in this one stadium and all, Ranna Kridangana stadium, where they are made the seats for the people to sit, and there is an open ground where you can watch a lot of the sports like cricket, volleyball, football and all the matches. You can sit there on the seat, you can sit and watch. Like that it was made. Amphitheaters were made where citizens could watch all kinds of the shows, and public baths with separate timings for men and women. So where the citizens can sit all around and they can watch the shows, and there were public baths also which there were separate timings for both men and as well as the women, where people met and relaxed. Yes, where people used to meet in common and they were getting themselves relaxed. Huge aqueducts, channels to supply water were built to bring water to the city for baths, fountains and toilets. So there were huge aqueducts were there. You can see an aqueduct here. It was a huge aqueducts which were made inside the city. It was what aqueducts means, the channels to supply the water. Now how do you get the water supply? We are getting the water supply through the big pipes. Because of the pipes you are getting no drinking water supply. Then tap water which is coming to your home, it is coming from the big pipes underwater, right? Channels of pipe is used that time were built. This aqueducts, huge aqueducts were built to has the supplying of channels to supply the water and to bring water to the city. They were bringing the water to the city, for which sake? For the baths, for the fountains and for the toilets. These channels of water were brought, right? This is how all the things were done in this chapter. That is what? Thriving towns and villages. Vital towns and vital villages, thriving towns. So this is how we have seen all the things happening. First we saw about the iron tools and the agriculture, iron tools which were used in the agriculture. Next one was to another step, further development which happened was other steps to increase the production with the help of the irrigation it was done. And next one was who lived in the villages, who were the people living in the villages, that we have discussed. Next what happens, finding out about the cities. So what was the earliest city, how they were there, how were the travelers in those cities, scripture, what the sculptures, what are the temples they have built, and archaeology, what type of buildings they had built in those times, what type of palaces they had built, what type of temples they have built, right? All these things were there. How there were channels of what type of irrigation they were following, or what type of reservoirs they had built in order to store the water, and what type of godowns or the warehouses they had built in those days. Next we came to know about the wells, well system, drainage system, how was there in those times. Next we came to know about the coins which were used, the means of exchange, whether it was the money or the coins or it was barter system. You give me one thing, that is the story is there. He gave the paddy, and in return to that what he gave, the merchant gave the salt to him. The farmer gave him the paddy, and what happened, the merchant gave him the salt. So like that they were doing. There were coins which were used as the means of exchange, right? And coins with many function. Coin was used to perform many functions, right? For purchasing the goods and services, for trading, for buying and selling of goods and services, for trading they were using the coins, right? And there were two important routes. One was used from northwest to the east and from north to south. These were the two trade routes. One route was used for traveling, and another route was used for the trading. Trading means buying and selling of the goods and services. Next came the crafts and craft persons, how they were their crafts and craft persons in those days, right? And what were the rules of spinning and weaving, that we have seen. Next one, a closer look of the Archimedu, that also which is there in Puducherry. We have seen what were the lands, how for what sake they had used the lands, and in this region we have seen the big jars, right, which were used to store wine and the oil, right? All these things we have seen in this chapter. Okay children, if you have any doubts, call me, right? Further things we will discuss in the next class with the new chapter. This is the completion of your chapter. You write the exercise question answers, let's recall, let's discuss, write it down, right? And bring the textbook or notebook for the corrections. Thank you children. Tomorrow in the next class we will deal with the next chapter, next new chapter. Okay children, thank you.